All right. Welcome everyone who's joining this day 4, which we are going to fully integrate whatever that we have done, all these live events of day 1, day 2, and day 3. And today we're going to to talk about the quantum leap through the identity shift, and through that we're going to understand why this is crucial to have clarity within those quantum leaps that are taking place, and how to integrate the identity shift that is the one that is permitting the quantum leap to help absolutely accelerate the manifestation process, and for us to observe it through our own quantum physics and reality of our present moment. All right, so if this is the first time you're coming here live, my name is Rahma Larif, and I am an entrepreneur, but above all, I'm someone who loves to empower entrepreneur leaders around the world and change makers to truly remember their truth and create a wealth with your purpose and mission of life, while creating an impact and transforming lives around the globe. So, without further ado, if you have any question, you can also comment below and let us know uh, what was your most incredible, amazing shift that happened during these lives. Or if you have a question, also you can drop it below here in the comments that I can see it. So I know how hard it is. Sorry, I know how hard it is, and especially when we're going through these phases where the quantum leap is happening and the shift is happening. It's really, really, really crazy. And I'm going to tell you later on, while I'm going through this live, the things that happen within also for myself and my clients when this shift that we actually created from the powerful manifestation of our desires took place and manifested. And I know that sometimes we get through the transitional phases that make us feel like maybe we are doing something wrong, maybe something is not working out, maybe we're not aligned. And this life will get you to have clarity in everything that you might be going through right now in your life, or maybe you had already experienced it in the past, so that you can understand how to get through it when it's happening again next time, or maybe not even happening again, because then you will be shifting the identity with your own knowledge and also with your own power to go through it and master the energy of how to get through it. All right, so quantum leap through identity shift, what does it mean? What does it mean? I love that. Well, first of all, you have to understand that the quantum leap is only happening in the moment of where you already shifted energetically and spiritually. And so therefore your emotion are creating a bubble of a vortex that are going to shift every single part of you, which means now your identity is actually being changed and transformed. You're no longer the same person that you're actually observing right here with your own two eyes or your physical eyes, but you are already becoming someone different, someone new that you're actually really calling in with your own command, with your own desire, with your own choices of the person who you claim powerfully that you desire to be that person. And sometimes maybe you didn't do it powerfully with a certain way of to become a new person or a new identity, but you desire a certain change, and so therefore that certain change has to come with a new person who's actually receiving that change. And that's why we're calling it identity shifts. And that same identity shift is the one that uh, provokes the quantum leap to take place. Now, the quantum leap is the environment that we are going through while the process is taking place, which means that you are now into a powerful energetical state of being, that everything is actually being replaced, everything is actually being changed, everything is getting transformed in order to realign with the new change, with the new desire, with a new person, with a new identity That's the reason why we call it quantum leap, because you are leaping timeline. So even though right now in your life, all you're observing is your current life with your current identity, with your current self, but energetically everything is already changing. And because energetically everything is changing, it's also changing also on your second layer, which is now your mind is the programming, the paradigm that was there, that was not aligned with the change that is taking place energetically, is going now to be changed as well. So this is the part where you're going to recognize the shifts, because by recognizing the shift when the quantum leap is happening is when everything that was not aligned, it was part of your paradigm, your old self, and also your way of how you've been conditioned to be, is going to be actually being replaced and removed. And so how is going to happen, it has to allow your physical self to feel in a certain way, to observe, to go through a certain emotional swing, go through a certain way where we feel like we are powerless, or maybe disempowered, or maybe even feeling like we are so exhausted and etc. Is because everything is already happening from inside of yourself, with your energy being transformed, but also in your cellular level, where everything is being anchored as well with the new change and that new desire and the new identity shift. So therefore, um, sometimes it will also emerge as certain things that are not serving you anymore. And this is where I'm going to talk a little bit about the shadows and archetypes. And if this is the first time you're hearing archetypes or shadows, you don't have to worry about it, because I'm going to explain it here better. The shadows are nothing but just the identity that we have been conditioned ourselves to show up in our life with, according to our own programming. Remember yesterday when we talked about how to rewire our mindset and reprogram our mindset, and especially transforming limiting beliefs? If you didn't watch it, you can go back and watch day 3. This is where you're going to understand better what I'm talking about here. So therefore, everything that was as part of your programming that created your results, including the life that you're living right now, when it has to change and it's no longer aligned, you, whatever is that was conditioned to, whatever is that needs to go out and leave, will be emerging in order for you to be aware about it, in order for you to be able to observe it and see that this is what needs to change. This is what needs to be, dissolved, so that you can be able to allow the change to take place within yourself, with a new way of showing up, with a new way of feeling, with a new way of perceiving, but also with a new way for you to actually also uh, be as who you are, in as your state of being. And that comes also with the entire aspect of yourself. So that means energetically, how you feel, how you carrying your energy, and also um, mindfully, how are you mindful about everything that is actually playing on your subconscious mind as you're programming and changing it and rewiring your mindset. And also physically, which means now understanding your emotion, understanding what were the things that were always there, that you were doing, that were not serving you, and always blocking your result from being manifested the way you want, so that you can absolutely see now that as part of your reality, see that as something that you are now manifesting as your truth. And therefore those archetype, I'm going to talk about the major one, because they are the nuances of what we call our leader human, what we call also our ego, what we call also the part of ourself that is here to give us this human experience, which is the logician. And therefore it has nuances like the inner child, it has also nuances like what we call also self-saboteur. And those are the shadows I'm talking about, because they are somehow like a character we embody within ourselves. But honestly, if we are going to really take a look deep of those archetypes, those shadows of ours, like the victim, they are helping us to understand of way on how we show up in our life based on our way on how we've been conditioned ourselves to create our life. And so therefore, they are there to only help us grow. They are only there to stretch us and make us create the most magnificent, you know um, life that we have never experienced. So they only get activated when we are about to expand, when we are about to stretch ourselves from our uncomfort zone or doing something we have never done before. So they get activated as as a protection mechanism, but also as a guide, as a direction. They are there to guide us what is that we have always been doing that was not serving us and that is not aligned with the new shift, with the new identity we are embodying and calling in as part of who we are today. So therefore, those shadows and those archetypes are going to be appearing during the process so that we can fully realign and reintegrate the new identity shift that is taking place within ourselves. And this is where I'm going to talk about what to do during the quantum leap in itself. So what you have to do is that you gotta be the observer, and you gotta be the person that, and I know it's not easy because as a human we always have to wonder and ask, and of course our little human, because it has been conditioned in a different way, we're gonna feel in a certain way, like, we're gonna go through the pain and we're gonna feel like, oh my god, I'm feeling hurt, and I cannot take this, I cannot handle this, and especially where there is also the emotional swing that is also being part of the process as well, where your mood is up and down and you don't feel like anything, or maybe sometimes you unleash some anger or something like that. And I'm going to take an example of what happened lately, even during these lives. I woke up this morning after I've done the live yesterday, but I knew that something was already taking place since before I went live yesterday on the day three. And then when I finished the day three, I remember I shut down. Like I didn't want to talk to anybody, and I didn't want to even go there. And I remember I didn't even want to wash my makeup and etc. And I started feeling in a kind of a way. And this morning I woke up and I didn't feel like talking to anyone. And I started feeling so deep emotion within myself and a lot of things arising within myself. And I've been crying. I've been like really, really feeling like not even going through the lives anymore. I didn't even want to show up and do this live. And that's the moment when I realized what was happening. There were those shadows of mine, like the self saboteur that has been always showing up in my business, and also the prostitute archetype. I'm not going to talk to them in details in here, but I have a video here also on YouTube where I mention each one of them and their rules. And if you want to learn more deeper about them in an advanced way, I have what we call the Solutions Frequency Program that is absolutely talking about it, in a deeper way, and how to master those archetypes and those shadow in order for us to fully grow within themselves as well. But here I'm going to just give you a certain idea about what's going on when you're going through the quantum leap and the identity shift, and which those archetype and shadows are also part of the process. So I'm going to link the link also below here for the solutions frequency, so that you can get a look out of it if you feel it resonates with you and you feel that this is the support you need actually with who you are today, and everything that is happening within your life. So like I was explaining, so my self-saboteur and the prostitute have been there, and then suddenly it took me into a place where I realized certain things. I was like, oh my god. And then I had to alchemize it and be compassionate with myself. And this is what I would like you to do during this quantum leap. When you become the observer, you become also the one who become the high, the higher archetype. And because we have the lower shadows and we have the higher shadows. So we have the lower archetypes, just like we have the higher archetypes. So, for example, for the prostitute, we have the queen, that is the higher version of that archetype, and is actually permitting the growth to be taking place. So the lower shadows is only activating what was there that is no longer serving us and has been the blocks or whatever it is that was stopping us from and keeping us stuck. And so now the higher archetype will transform that, whatever is the block, whatever is the pattern, whatever is the paradigms, whatever it was that was not serving, and transforming into something powerful and to a powerful transformation of change. So this is like the dance of the higher and the lower archetypes all the time within the quantum leap, and also the identity shifts. So so the prostitute is the queen, and then we have the self-saboteur. So the self-saboteur, it can be also the the lover. And the lover is someone who's like the king. So this is your how can I say it, this is your higher version of your powerful masculine self, the one that is always there showing up, and the one that is permitting you know the wealth, the one that creates the wealth within, and also the one that is always there to provide when it's coming to, like, for example, money is a masculine energy, selling it's a masculine energy, and everything that is related to strategy, structure, marketing, and etc., they are all related to masculine energy. So therefore, when you are on your self-saboteur, and also the victim, because the victim is most of the time where we find ourselves, and especially when we are into the consciousness of to me consciousness, and we're thinking that everything is happening to us, this is the moment where we are calling in the lover to come in and suit us. And that lover is no one but the king, which means your masculine self, your masculine power within yourself, that is coming in and really helping you to embody um, the love within yourself, within that shift that is taking place and that is uncomfortable to go through, because as a human, it's normal when you go through that. And therefore the queen is coming and remind the prostitute, and then when I'm talking about prostitute here, it's not only for women, so don't get me wrong, it's also an archetype that exists also in male, which means that a man can have a prostitute archetype where maybe they're lowering their prices in their business all the time, or and it can be in both sides, it's not only men, but it can be also the fact that they cannot assume fully their own values, and also, they allow, they let people disrespecting them, or etc. It can be even the people who you're working with, or it can be your friends, or it can be at home, or the family, or etc., where you cannot fully express your truth and demand something, or maybe making your voice being heard, or something like that. And it's also in a different ways, where this prostitute also can show up in both the female and the male. And so here, what I'm here to actually helping you to understand is that during that quantum leap, everything can rise. It can be the shadows, it can be the shadows that are also known as archetype, or it can be your behavioral patterns, as your programming, as your conditioning, on how you've been conditioning yourself to think, feel, and even perceive with your own limiting belief. Or it can be just simply you know and certain blocks and energy that have been there for a long period of a time, and it's ready to be alchemized, it's ready to be dissolved, it's ready to be transmuted and being gone, because it's no longer aligning with the new shift and identity of the change that you are calling in and actually want desiring to manifest as your reality. And so when that happens, I want you to just be the observer and see everything. Like, for example, for me this morning, I wasn't feeling well at all, but I allow it to go through it, because I knew it was happening, and I know that this was coming up because there is a cleansing happening inside of me with the energetic vortex of realigning myself within the process of that change that is already taking place, and it's already here. But everything that is no longer serving me, that is no longer part of that new identity of mine, has to go. And so I was just being there, allowing it to be. I was not harsh on myself. I was not criticizing myself. I was not judging myself, but I was allowing myself to go through it. And even when I was going in shower, I started crying again. So I'm allowing myself. So if you're going through those emotions on yourself, allow yourself to go through them, but also send so much compassion to yourself and also so much love, so that you can remind yourself that this is your old identity leaving your entire system, leaving your nervous system. It's alchemizing, it's transmuting, and it's being dissolved, so that the new identity within yourself can rise fully and can fully integrate within yourself in all three layers of yourself, which means spiritually, emotionally, energetically, and also physically. So that means your physical timeline is adjusting with you know uh, your energetic timeline, which means like what we perceive as future is not future, because everything is happening at the same time. But our physical timeline is the one that is like going through and thinking like we have a day, and also like day one or day two or week or months or year. Well, it's not the case. So this is only to show you that when you're going through that, is because your physical timeline is trying to readjust with the change in itself. So it's taking you into a way of a speed. It's like the storm, and you become the eye within the storm. And I'm going to give you also another example so you can understand it better. Imagine like I don't know how to call it exactly, but the thing that we put on the middle of the lane or something, and like just to scare away the pigeon and the animals that can come and eat stuff into the land in itself, or when you're planting something, and it's just like right there and it's sitting there, and the wind comes and blow, it's blowing, but then it's still there standing still, not afraid of the wind. It's standing there, and the wind is passing through all the part of that. I don't know how it's called. Is it a sky scutter or something like that? If I'm sorry if I don't say it right here, but I completely forgot the name, by the way. um, and so therefore it's coming in and pushing it, but it's still standing there tall and still. It doesn't being scared. So you have to remind yourself that you are the eye of the storm, because the storm is temporary, it's not permanent. So your emotional swing, your shadows that are coming there, they are guiding you and showing you something that is not working, so that you can work on it and elevate yourself to the higher version of yourself that is actually is your truth. It's reminding you of your truth. So all that is happening, it's only it's the physical timeline that is trying to adjust into the change in itself. And because we're human and we have given senses of feeling everything, touching, and etc., this is normal for us to feel the pain. It's normal for us to feel everything that is passing us through, like how it feels so hurting deep inside to go through those emotions and remembering those experiences and releasing all that is no longer serving us, and it's no longer part of our new identity. So that's how I would love you to show up during that quantum leap, and allowing everything to be readjusting and realigning for the purpose of your highest best version taking place, in order of you observing the change and the transformation that you always wanted in your life. And this is how you integrate also the shift, because when you show up as your new identity, even during the storm, knowing that, like when it happened to me, I was still the same identity of the woman who I know that this is who I am already, and I'm claiming her powerfully. I know I am that woman who's actually going through this experience. It's just an experience, it's not my truth. And that experience is only there to guide me, and it's for the highest best of me. It's an opportunity for me to get to know something about myself that I haven't been fully understood yet, and I was not fully aware about and didn't work fully on it yet. So I'm allowing it to be and see what is here, the gift within that, so that I can absolutely take it and realign myself and integrating powerfully again that new shift, an identity of mine, knowing that it's already taking place, it's already happening, and the reality is just in no time is going to show up for me. Do you see now the difference? So this is how I would like you to show up from today when you're going through your quantum leap and the shift and everything is like, rising at the same time. Shower so much love to yourself, so much compassion, and remember that this is just an experience, but this is not your truth. It's an experience that is only there to show you also who you truly are, with your own power, with your own capacity to handle anything that comes your way. All right. So this is how I'm going to leave it to you here, and I'm super excited for tomorrow. And tomorrow is going to be a very powerful day, where we're going to really integrate all the work that we have been doing here. And now it's going to be also an opportunity to ask a question and respond to a question, like the question that you posted here on the comments. I will make sure that I answer them as well from the last day of this ending lives of events, that is taking place. So I'm sending you so much love, and remember, you can absolutely have it all, and you are powerful. And everything you desire, it's already existing within you, and you can absolutely have it. But it depends on your choices and who you choose to be and show up today, when those shifts are taking place, and when that identity shift is actually also anchoring within yourself. Mwah, much love.